just about a third from the top of the page, a little more. AyinBase 9, and the line starts with the word briah. So we're in the middle of explaining a focused Inyan. What is the meaning of Adam kadmon? Pointed out that Adam and kadmon are two terms that are really opposites, because Adam implies a new creation. Kadmon means it is pristine, that pre-existed on everything. So how is this combined? To explain this, we go into the Indian from Adam B'Tzalmei. So Adam was created B'Tzalmei. B'Tzelem Elokim. And what is the meaning? The meaning of B'Tzelem Elokim, that the Tziyur Adam Shalamato is actually a reflection of Adam Shalmayla. Adam Shalmayla means Adam Shalakisei, which is the Adam the atzilus. Just to put the words into place, a briah is called kirsaya, it's called the kisei, and atzilus, this is Adam shal ha-kisei. And what is in it from Adam atzilus? And Adam consists of 10 spheros, and the Adam shalamato likewise possesses 10 koiches. And we discussed yesterday, and the Rebbe says clearly, these 10 koiches are only in the human being. No other creature has that type of structure of 10 koiches. And we explained yesterday the principle of 10 koiches, that the reason that there is 10 koiches, and what is the meaning of 10 koiches? It is because Adam represents that Inyan which is above creation. In order to bring that which is above creation into creation, he has to go through 10 different qualities, starting from Chokhmah all the way down to Malchus, and that's how you bring it down into the Metzias of the order. This is the principle of 10 koiches. We discussed yesterday a little bit more. Yeah, so I said the line the briah begins with the word briah, that no other creature possesses, is comprised of these 10 koiches. And the reason is, why Adam has that, because Adam here below is made b'tzelem, in the same form and a reflection of Adam and the atzilus. Omnam, although zehu ne'emar b'Adam shalamato shenivra yesh me'ayin, this is said regarding Adam shalamato, the man here below, which is actually a creation yesh me'ayin, as it says in the Pasuk, Vayivra Elokim es Adam, he was created, nivra. V'hagam sheha Adam nivra li b'soiv, that although the Adam was created at the end, v'chol ha-nivroim kadmon lei b'maaseh bereishis, all the creatures preceded Adam b'maaseh bereishis, as we all know. Yet still, Masha Nivra Meha Adam Ha-Elyon, what actually approximates was created from Adam Ha-Elyon, the Adam the way it is above, who Ha-Adam Dafka, is only Adam. Even Adam came at the end, Adam Lamata. And everything preceded him, everything that preceded him did not reflect Adam Ha-Elyon. Only Adam reflects Adam Ha-Elyon. Kneda, as is known, the Chol HaNivroim, that all the creatures, Hein Rak, Me ha-arah chitzonis, they only from, meaning they're reflecting only ha-arah chitzonis, an external ha-arah. B'bchinas Malchus, from the aspect of Malchus, K'mei sheyardo liyismoki libiyah. Malchus, as Malchus descends to serve as a moker lebiyah, as a source for biyah, for briah itzirashi. Briefly, what these words are saying. Ha-arah chitzonis, we already mentioned many times, it explained the word ha-arah. Ha-arah means reflection. What is alluded to by the word reflection? Like, for example, we spoke about it in many different ways, and now comes to mind. We have light from the sun. And we explained many times, just yesterday I think, or the day before, the sun is not oil. The sun is etzem behiri. Oil, as we know it, is oil that can deal with darkness, illuminating darkness. The light of the sun, the sun doesn't even know that darkness exists. Sun is not dealing with darkness. It's a etzem behiri, which means it knows only of light. The light that comes from the sun that illuminates the darkness is what's called the ha-arah. And what is the significance of that word? It brings the solar quality, but only on a limited fashion, not in essence. On a functional level, it makes light here in the darkness. But it doesn't bring the essence of sun. It has the effect of light. This is the functional element. That's called ha-arah. It's an allusion to real light of sun. And its effect is that it can illuminate darkness. That's called ha-arah. And this is what he says over here, that all the creatures were created from ha-arah chitzonis, an external ha-arah, which means it reflects a godly koyach, but only a ha-arah. And in what way does it reflect the godly quality? It creates. It has the power to create. Malchus k'mishiyardo liyismoki libiyah. This is when you say. Let me explain these words. Everybody I know to translate, right? Malchus k'mishiyardo liyismoki libiyah. What is an allusion over here? Just like sunlight, as we just used the example. The difference between sunlight and sun is that sun does not need to be effective in order to be what it is. It's an etzem. Sunlight is only light when it deals with darkness. When it doesn't deal with darkness, it's not light. There's an interesting thing that is well known, that sunlight as it journeys for the millions of miles through space is not light at all. As a matter of fact, in space it's perfectly dark. When the light hits an object and it has now something to illuminate, then it becomes functional. It has nothing to illuminate, it has no function. It has no presence. Doesn't have
any warmth either.
That's right, nothing. It's just something. and non-presence, because it is a ha-arah, it is not really a presence. When it hits the earth, then it becomes hot and becomes light and becomes everything. This is the principle of the ha-arah. And this is what the Rebbe is saying. The ha-arah Malchus, when Malchus has a function to be mokir libiyah, that's when you see this ha-arah. Malchus unto itself, this is a ha-arah, it's a non-entity. Yes?
Can I ask you yesterday the question?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Correspondence of 10 koiches to 10 spheros, what is it? Chochmah we discussed. The Bina is
No, I'm not going there.
No?
Okay. You explained the godly element of the...
I'm sorry, I just want to... I'm not just rejecting you. I spoke about it many, many times. You're walking down Kingston Avenue, or up Kingston Avenue. Are you going to take every turn that is available? Are you going to turn into Crown Street, Carroll Street, President Street, Union? Why not? It's right there. Don't you want to examine what's going on? So we all know that this is, anyone who's got this kind of distraction will never get any place, and he's just not focused at all. The idea is to be focused on what is being discussed. If you're going to take every detour, we are missing the whole point. There's no way you can get to the point. Because as a matter of fact, if you want to get from one place to the other on Earth, you can go any direction and you'll get there eventually in 500,000 years. Yeah.
I thought it would be relevant because we said yesterday that Chochmah, we discussed Chochmah yesterday.
I explained what is the meaning of 10 spheros, 10 koiches. I explained the meaning of 10 koiches is because it has to come down from something higher, and I said it today also. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Okay, I'm not going to hold longer.
No, you don't have to. I'd like you to turn around and,
okay, so help me
focus in where we are.
We discussed yesterday this idea that the Chochmah, the human being has to be preconceptualized. Everything has to be not pre-acted but preconceptualized.
No.
Right. So, and if we were to discuss how is it preconceptualized on each one of those 10 levels, it would be very clearly understood.
No. That's not preconceptualized. The Chochmah is the only one who can preconceptualize. Only Chochmah preconceptualize.
But it's preconceptualized on each level.
No. It preconceptualizes and brings the original concept to the level where now you can derive, Bina can derive from it all the other things.
Okay. It's orderly, meaning it's a certain way how it works.
Absolutely. If it's disorderly, that's exactly what happens.
Okay, I understand. Meaning Bina takes over from Chochmah and then on. You don't need to discuss each step. Right. I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, that the fact that the other Nibrayim from the chitzoniut ha-arah chitzonius.
I just want to finish my thought.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what does the Rebbe explain? Ha-arah chitzonius, which is Mepchinas Malchus, K'moshe yodel yismokir libiyah. Malchus as it comes onto mokir libiyah, that's ha-arah chitzonius. Because without being mokir libiyah, the ha-arah chitzonius doesn't exist. Yeah.
Okay. The godly element, you said, was the fact that the Nibrayim create. And the Nibrayim are able to create. That was the godly element. You mentioned you're saying the ha-arah chitzonius. On one hand, it's a real ha-arah, which is the fact that they're able to create, right? No?
The ha-arah is able to create.
The ha-arah, which
the
is reflected
creates creatures.
Oh, creates creatures. Okay. And the fact that it's chitzonius, how does that reflect itself Okay, it's a function. I'm trying to correlate.
Where
Chitzonius
do
means
you
it's
see?
functional.
Where do you see its godly element in the fact that it creates, not in itself? That's the whole point I'm trying to explain.
So the godly element is translated into a functional thing, which is creation. If it were to be just itself,
there is nothing to talk about.
Okay.
It says, Kedem the atzilus are also elokus. In what way? That they are able to, that's what I'm trying to explain, because they're able to create. Liber yesh mi'ayin. In the Kedem you don't see elokus directly. In Chochmah you see, in oil you see elokus directly.
We just had that.
Huh?
Just had that in time.
Just in time.
Learning.
Two more questions, sorry. This in the parentheses here, where he starts off by saying that even though the Adam was created last, what's the point of
Why
that?
by being finished?
Oh.
You see like Carol Street.
Okay.
Which way is it?
I don't know.
I have one more question, but I'll wait till the end of the parentheses.
So chol ha-nivroim hein rak me-ha-arah chitzonis m'kinas machas sheyorek me-sheyorek lis-moker briah. So even though, as we said, Adam is the less in the creation, all the nivroim preceded him. Nevertheless, we have to understand, all the nivroim were created only from ha-arah chitzonis, which is machas me-sheyorek lis-moker briah. Ma-shein kin briahs ha-adam hu me-b'chinas yichud zun da atzilus. Adam was created from a atzilus koyach, not the effect of atzilus, but atzilus as it exists within atzilus itself, which is the yichud zun de atzilus. Ube'emes, in truth, again, be'emes means, although practically speaking, as we see that Adam is like he was the last one to be created. However, in truth, if we look at the truth principle, ha-arah Yisrael all b'machshava. Yisrael all b'machshava, they arose in thought koydem kol ha-briah. The machshava means before dibur. Dibur is the creative part, the external creative part. Machshava is the way it is preconceived. Koydem kol ha-briah, kol briah, before all other creatures. Chol ha-nivroim, and all the creatures that were created before Adam. Hein l'tzavis lozeh, is only to l'tzavis. L'tzavis means to give company, to complement the presence of Adam. Ve'al kein, and thus we can understand the principle Adam hu b'tzelem Adam hu Ayin. Adam is b'tzelem, is in the form and reflective Adam Ayin. I believe the word shom shoyresh u'moker is habas ha'adam. There in Adam Ayin, this is the root of his habas ha'adam. Even though the Poyam Mamash, he came out after all the creatures. This is the similar thing that we discussed just a moment ago. All Nivroim are present at the point where they were created. Adam, his presence begins prior to being created. Preconceived, yeah, that's in Adam Ayin. And then it's only reflective and only revealing it. Okay. Yeah.
So this fact that Adam was created first, this kind of goes back to the rachis, the first koyach that comes from the sphirot atzilus. We're saying is if Adam was last, it would be alright. I won't put it. I can see already, but here's another question.
Don't you see this is?
Here's another question. We say that no other creature has 10 koyachos. And that yesterday we talked about the main kind of emphasis in that is the coming sort of conceptualizing from Ayin and yet
Adam has a real presence.
The Nefesh of Bahamas also has 10 koyachos.
That's right. Everything about Adam has a real presence.
It has 11, doesn't it?
Huh?
Doesn't it have 11?
I don't know, maybe it has 11. The point is, it has a real presence. The Nefesh HaBahamis also functions in this orderly fashion, from Chochmah on down. And this is in fact that which enables us to communicate with this idiot, because he's a Chochem.
Even though by Nefesh HaBahamis it's not Chochmah that's directing the Midas, it's the Midas that's everything's going up to, but nevertheless there is something.
Nefesh HaBahamis has a desire to be a Balgaiva. What's a Balgaiva mean? I'm a real person. Independent. Where does he get that?
Okay, even though he has that, it really comes from this. He sees that to be a real person is something is a good thing.
Well,
it's a real thing.
If it comes after Seichel and he sees it, then it's already a modified Nefesh HaBahamis. In initial Nefesh HaBahamis, he doesn't see anything; he just wants it.
Okay. So where's the Chachma come in?
Because he perceives that that he would be a real person if he would be independent above everything, and everybody would be subservient to him. As long as there is somebody who is independent of him, he is not for real. He has to own the whole world. He has to be the real thing. There's no bounds. Ultimately, he goes up and says, God, you stay out of this. I'll take over.
It's my office.
Huh?
It's my office. My office.
My office?
So that's the functioning of Chochmah sort of in a messed up way, basically.
Upside down way, yes.
Okay.
Where's the Chochmah then?
It's a stupid Chochmah, right?
No,
Right.
Makes sense to you.
Please understand what that means. Yeah, Ayin is Chochmah. It's a non-existent reality. Who can conceptualize a non-existent reality?
Non-existent reality means that he's king of the world. That's
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. How is he going to own the world? He's here as a visitor. Non-existent reality. It's only in Chochmah. Because Chochmah can conceive something that doesn't exist.
What?
Chochmah can conceive something that doesn't exist.
There's no tangibility.
Non-reality.
Huh?
A non-reality.
A non-reality. Yeah.
You're saying this stupidity that a person would have, it's indicative of a chokhmah?
Yeah. Chochmah the Klippa.
Chokhmah the Klippa.
It's not driven by midas, it's a kind of a chokhmah.
It is drawn the midas, but Chochmah is the one that gives the midas that koyach.
Like delusional, right? Being delusional, that's what it is.
In a sense.
It's very powerful. It's a very powerful state.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the way I experienced that. You experienced it.
I very much.
We had that creations are kind of made on the spot, that human being is preconceived.
Right.
I'm trying to get a sense. Anything that's made must have originally,
Well,
there must have originally been some kind of intention. But we're saying, I'm trying to get what this preconceived is and how it differs from anything that's made. Must have had some degree of
Well,
planning.
Adam was created b'tselem Elokim, which means Adam was initially given a sense of that he is a real thing. Tell him he's reflecting the atzilus. When it comes down here Lamata, he doesn't have the insight and the edelkeit to realize, hey, the real you, the reason you're for real is because you're coming from a real source. He turns around, oh, I'm for real. He forgets about the source.
Okay, and he bases it on.
What? He doesn't base it on anything. He bases on that which he experiences.
which is indicative of a reality.
Yeah.
In contrast to.
We said many times, a car is made to travel from point to point. To transport a person in the whole world, and you should be able to benefit from the world, and the world should benefit from him. Ultimately, when he gets down to focuses in on his ability to drive this car, he says, I don't need to accomplish anything. All I need to go in circles. And that is my biggest accomplishment. I go in circles faster than you, then I'm for real.
So it's like saying that this car that he misuses.
And all the other creations differ from man in that they were not made b'tselem Elokim and have no sense of.
That's right. They only have 10 koiches. If a lion catches his prey, does he walk around and showing all that? Look what I caught.
Monkey does it though.
Monkey imitates.
Right. But stupid it is.
Monkey sees, monkey does.
Right. And sometimes lion takes away its food.
So this example, the lion showing us that.
That's what we say. The animals do not have viciousness. He
does what he does.
He does what he does. He wants to eat, so he does. He doesn't catch his prey to show off that I'm more powerful than you are.
Right, but this lack of sense of self is showing us that the animal is just made as it is, whereas man's sense of self shows us on how he's preconceived. Is that the point?
That's right. Everything he does is pre-planned. Where does this lead to?
The lions actually kill, to establish their territory. They don't actually kill just to eat.
Who?
Lions. They kill any competition.
No, they're not. They
don't even eat it.
That's right. Well, that's if they have their turf, because this is where their prey comes from. We discussed it many times. The territory is not like a person owns a home. Territory is for its own benefit. All right, this is it for this morning. Do we have Chachma? Which Chachma do we have?
It's the title of the Animal Kingdom.